So there's a lot of problem of relationships in this present age, and people used to consider going to moon as the most difficult thing, but they went to moon. People used to consider controlling pandemics like smallpox, plagues, very, very difficult, as if the whole planet will vanish and population will vanish, but they controlled it. People used to consider making tunnels under the sea, almost impossible, but humans did it. But the most impossible thing in the present age is maintaining relationships, and that is why we see there are so many sites offering solutions for maintaining relationships. So many seminars are there, so many psychological counselors are there for maintaining relationships, so many life coaches are there. But these are all temporary solutions. What is a permanent solution? They have some advices, it works for some time, but it's all temporary. What is a permanent solution to maintain good relationships? Well, there are two things. First is, to maintain a good relationship with someone else, first you should understand yourself. If you can't understand yourself, how will you understand the other person? And that is why it is said in scriptures, anybody who wants to rule others, first he should know how to rule himself. Anybody who wants to lead others, first he should know how to lead himself. Anybody who wants to guide others, first he should know how to guide himself. So anybody who wants to know others, first he should know himself or herself. So to maintain a relationship means two people. Relationship means you have to understand the other person, his psychology, his feelings, his thoughts. Him or her as a person you have to understand. You have to connect from person to person. But then it all starts with understanding yourself as a person. So how to do that? For that we need guidance from scriptures, because scriptures helps us to understand who we are in our true self. Scriptures like Gita, it begins with this knowledge, who we are. Before we do anything else, we maintain any other relationship, first we have to understand who we are. And who we are, beautifully Gita explains, Indrevya paramana manasastu parabuddhe parasastu 𝗙liche. In other words, we are body and soul. We are body, mind, intelligence, false ego and soul. These five components together form a human, a personality. Through this body we do actions, through mind we think, through mind we actually feel, through intelligence we think, through false ego we form impressions in our mind, and through soul we have an intent, why we want to think, why we want to feel, why we want to form these impressions. That intent is there, and that intent, feeling, thoughts, impressions, it all mixes to form a personality. And that we have to understand what's happening within us. And when we have this capacity to understand ourselves at different levels, then we can understand the other person, and we can interact, and we can connect from person to person and soul to soul, and then we can maintain good relationships. So to maintain a good relationship, the first point is you have to know yourself, and for that you need guidance from scriptures. Scriptures will tell you what is mind, what is intelligence, what is ego, what is body, what is soul, and what is the entire personality. The second point is to maintain relationships is, any relationship thrives on selflessness. Any relationship with a selfishness, that relationship will break. In fact, that's why we see to maintain relationship is so much problem. There are so many divorces, there is so much tension into modern married life. People are not marrying, first of all, out of fear that the marriage will break. Why? Because of selfishness. People are interested in themselves. They don't devote their time to their partners, and that's a common problem. You don't give time to me. They are engaged somewhere else. They don't want to sacrifice for the other person, and that is why love demands sacrifice and relationship demands sacrifice. Why? Because people have become extremely selfish. And by the way, that's why I think there is a selfie thing. The more you take selfie, the more selfish you become. Anyway, this is a side note. But anyway, let's come to the topic. The point is selfishness. Any good relationship thrives on, nourishes by selflessness. But the question is how to become selfless, how to sacrifice for the other person. The only solution is to connect with God and to chant the names of God. No intellectual adjustment will actually be able to help you to go beyond your own selfishness. It's God's name, and that is why so many spiritualists in the entire history of mankind, you can see so many saints, so many spiritualists, they were all selfless. So that there the role of chanting holy names of God comes. By the power of the holy names, we rise above ourselves, our own selfishness, and that helps to maintain good relationships. So if you want permanent solution to maintain good relationships, not just with your spouse or partner, with people around you, there are two permanent solutions, and the solution is read scriptures so that you know who you are, and chant God's name so that you can rise above your own selfishness. And then you see, you will be a good human, a saintly human, and you will be able to maintain spontaneous relationships with everybody. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.